And Seattle had changed a lot. First, it was Microsoft country. Before that was Boeing. Now it's Amazon. And everybody else has moved in, Google, Facebook.
You got used to the place now. Got attached to the place.
The new Silicon Valley of US.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
you're emptying the Silicon Valley.
Well, it's too expensive in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
So they're moving here. Now this is going up in price.
Correct.
Real estate and low interest rates. That's just driving the prices up through the roof.
The same bubble.
You won't believe this. Housing prices have nearly doubled in the last 5 years.
Yes, sir. We can. So we'll be starting in the next 20 seconds. I request Club Prayas and the Money Market Club to broadcast using the YouTube. We can start the process in the next 5-10 seconds. Yeah, good morning and warm welcome to to Professor Dattar. I really thank you for accepting our proposal for this international seminar. You are the second in our guest list, and we are very extremely thankful that you have joined us, and I'm sure the partnership will take us a long way through. Good evening to Dr. Sarijan, Dean IBS Hyderabad. Good evening to a lot of guests who've joined us, a lot of advisors and other guests who are here with us. Good evening to my colleagues. Good evening to my students, especially Club Prayas and the Money Matters Club. Yeah, to start off, I request our Dean, Dr. Sarijan, to make his beginning remarks.
Thank you, Professor Satish. A warm greetings to Professor Vinay. Very good morning, and very good morning, and very good evening to our distinguished faculty members, our senior faculty professors, Professor Nagi Reddy, Professor Ved, and all faculty members and research scholars and our students. As you know, we have around more than 2,000 plus MBA students, and we have 176 plus faculty members at IBS Hyderabad, ICFAI Business School Hyderabad, and out of every year we have around 500 plus students who specialize in finance area. So we have a very strong Department of Finance and Accounting with around 45 faculty members, including research scholars, very senior professors, and we give a lot of focus on research. And one of our attributes, our vision statement is applied research, and we invite eminent academicians, researchers, and industry experts to interact with our faculty members, research scholars, and our students. So I'm so happy that you have accepted our invitation as part of international seminar series. Thank you very much. So
happy to be here.
Thank you very much, and we are looking forward to your seminar. Thank you, and I wish we will have future collaborations in terms of research or research with the faculty and research scholars. I would like to thank Professor Ramakrishna for connecting with him and inviting him to our institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over to Professor Satish.
Yeah. So the subprime crisis of 2008 has bottom line that any particular idiosyncratic risk which might occur to any major enterprise would eventually catch up with the wider financial system and end up in a systemic risk. I need to be very clear on that. So because it's a interlinked world, it's a world where the ripple effect is seen. It's also a world where there is a lot of interdependence among people. So after the subprime crisis, we had the 2010 Dodd-Frank Act. So I'll just spend a minute on it. You had the Financial Stability Oversight Council, which had a basic function of looking at systemically important financial institutions. And that is where, we came across these words of too big to fail. Not really new. We have heard this during the LTCM collapse of the 1998. Too connected to fail. So these were the enterprises which, if they collapse, would hurt a lot of economies and would have the ripple effect, bringing down the economy not only in that country but also globally. So these organizations and were called on. The risk rates were supposed to be increased. They were supposed to be regular on site, and they were also supposed to make a living wills of what will happen to them in case they are unable to function or they go bankrupt, right? So you had that in 2010. Then you had, of course, the lobby keeps working, and then you had the Capo bill coming up in 2018 with President Trump saying, it is not feasible. We are the charges of this is too much for small enterprises, and then they have shifted this 50 billion size to about 250 billion, freeing a lot of these small enterprises. There was also a very interesting remark of MetLife going to the court in US and saying, no, I'm not systemically important. And also, the judge ruling in favor of it, saying that, the federal government rules were arbitrary and, capricious. So, so there were other chances. That we also have this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And here, they were supposed to sell the people the risk involved before they actually sell these things or sell these complex financial instruments. They were not supposed to do predatory lending. So a lot of things have changed after that. Then you had the Walker Rule, which says, why should we keep, the FDIC insured, bank deposits of, and the bank taking that and investing in hedge funds and other speculative things. So the banking and the hedge funds and other private equity, should be kept separate. Bringing back the memories of the Glass-Steagall Act of 1933, right? So we also had problem with the creditors, with the credit rating agencies who they saw a conflict of interest, who get 4 times the amount for rating, the special purpose vehicle than a general debt rating. So the SEC has, set up the Office of the Credit Rating to handle that. Then we also had whistleblowing. If you remember, that came in through SOX. But it went to all new level with this particular thing. So overall, the world is moving towards some concept known as the bail-in, where the government would try to reduce its intervention, and these big organizations would transfer their assets and liabilities, or the government would encourage mergers among them, right? So all these things are working out, and I think personally, I feel that the government is going for this market mechanism of bail-in, which is really good. But the applicability of such particular thing in countries like India have to be debated. And we have the FRDI bill, which in 2017 was in line with the bail-in principle. But the thing was, it was felt that the depositors would be losing. And in a country where we trust some of this, or most of the majority of the people trust, the public sector enterprises and the public sector banks, and not so much with the real wealth creators like Adani's and Ambani's. The government really has to take a serious call before any such reforms are introduced in India, because I think, personally, they will change the entire financial system and perhaps, create a liquidity crunch coming through. So over the years, we have heard in the last decade, Havendal Index, we have seen about, the systemic risk. We have heard about the Clayton Capella. We have heard about the COVAD stress test. A lot of these things, I'm sure, the professor would enlighten us or give us a new perspective on where we are with regard to the systemic risk, and, are we prepared for the next big financial crisis? I request Professor Ramakrishna to introduce our guest.
Thank you, Professor Satish. At the outset, my heartfelt thanks to Professor Vinay for accepting our invitation within a few hours. This is not the first time. In the past 10 years, whenever I write a mail to him, we get a response from him within a few hours. Let us say if you write a mail at 1 o'clock, you get a response by 4 o'clock. So that is how down-to-earth person he is. And Professor Vinay did his engineering from IIT Mumbai, then moved to US and he holds a PhD in finance from University of Florida. Then worked for a Xerox. Then he is a senior consultant for a Boeing, and now currently he is a professor of finance at Seattle University for a very long time. And to all our surprise, Professor Vinay has got 9 patents in real options, which is in a derivative financial risk management. That is the options. Normally, we think that when it comes to patents and all, we think it is a science-related one. But Professor Vinay has a patents in real options. So, Professor Vinay, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being here. So please go ahead with your presentation, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. And thank you, Dr. Ramakrishna. The patents, by the way, are filed by Boeing. Boeing uses that in their patent portfolio to exchange with other companies and get their patents. So that's part of the game. So
I think you published your paper in Journal of Applied Corporate Finance also, if I remember.
Yes, I did.
I read that paper, sir. Very well written paper, sir.
Yeah, that was part of the Boeing effort with JSCF. Thank you.
Yeah, I request Professor Ramakrishna to unshare this so that Professor can share his PPT. Thank you. Yeah, we have question and answer session after the professor's presentation. So if someone is please share the questions through the chat box, and you can as well ask him after the presentation is over. Please, all of you mute. Thank you.